What's going on, gang? It's your boy Midnight coming to you live again with another review. Last night I had the pleasure of seeing Lord of the Rings: War of the Rohirrim. So if you saw the short that I made, my quick review for it, you'll know that I quite enjoyed the movie. With the AMC, used my A list, and yeah, no, it was cool. It was cool. I had the whole row to myself. Theater was pretty much virtually empty. I mean, everybody was kind of from like row, I want to say D to E. Yeah, everyone row D to E. I was in C. Um, was it row F? Either was. I'm not sure. No, it was only it was A through E. Yeah, that's it. It was only like a 41 seat theater anyway. So yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I enjoyed the film overall. I thought it was rather well done. I think some of the animation was a bit weird at points. In some shots, it was just kind of like, especially if a character was further away. They were, I mean, obviously drawn smaller. I mean, it was kind of like drawn to scale, which is cool, but they just looked a little weird. I thought that they probably would have put a little bit more detail on that. I thought the pacing was a bit strange. The director Kenji Kayama, I think I think he did a good job overall helming the movie. See what I did there? But I think some of the pacing, the story, like it felt long at points. But it didn't take me out of the movie. I think I was already tired and it was late. It wasn't that late. I mean, the movie technically the movie didn't start till about 7:23. I saw the 7 o'clock show, but trailers and everything. And yeah, I thought that like I said, some of the pacing was off just a little bit. But overall, I think the story hit. I think it hit on all the right notes. I think the characters were well developed. I think I was worried. I was worried at a point that this movie was going to be shorter than I anticipated. I knew it said like an hour 55, but I was kind of like, "Am I sure that I read that correctly?" Because at one point it just seemed like, "Oh, is this about to end? Like, is this that quick?" But no, it wasn't. And I enjoyed just kind of the anticipation of what was going to come next. And because I'm not too familiar with the Rohorrim story, and this took place 200 years before Bilbo even got the ring, before the ring was forged. But they were talking about the rings being forged soon enough. So I thought that was rather interesting. And what else? So our lead character is Hera. She's the daughter of Helm Hammerhand, her two brothers, Hama and Haleth, and then her cousin Freylov. Yeah, I was struggling with his name for the for the longest. I was like Freylov. It's Freylov. Yeah. So they live in Edoras, which is, I believe, is the capital city of Rohan. Rohan's like the province. And I would say Edoras is kind of like the capital cities for sure. Then you have Lord Freka, who was from the Dunderlands or the Dunlands, something like that. Um, and essentially, he meets up with Helm and he's asking for a truce because he knows that Gondor, there's some beef there, and he's trying to unite their tribes, but Helm is not for it. And let me tell you something. I think Helm was probably my favorite character in the movie. There's a scene that fully solidified it, and I said, "My God, I would look like yo, like Helm is that guy, bro, like for sure." And if you saw the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But there's like a fight on a bridge with Helm and these some of the mercenaries, and it's so good. Uh, so back to Lord Freka and Helm having that beef, they decide to have this bout outside, and they duke it out. Helm ends up killing him in one punch. He is the one punch man. He is Saitama before Saitama. And that's kind of how the war essentially starts because, Freka's trying to offer up his son Wolf. Wolf was friends with Hera ever since they were children. And then he witnesses this and he vows revenge. Now, Wolf is he is that kind of villain where he's not satisfied until everything is turned to dust, until everything is bleeding, until there's arms and limbs all over the place. He cares not. All right. He vows vengeance against the Hammerhand bloodline. and he gets what he gets what he looks for. Gets what he looks for. Gets what he wants. Essentially, I think that his character arc. I mean, he was really basically like the guy who could not handle rejection and decides to just go against everything in the world. But it's just revved up by the fact that, oh yeah, by the way, you just killed my father, so now I have to eliminate everyone in sight, everyone that you know, everyone that you love, every citizen, every man, woman, child, anyone who speaks of being from Rohan must be destroyed. And his General Targ, is like trying to throughout the film, and I like Targ for the simple reason of he's he's kind of a gentlemanly fighter. Like he knows when to show mercy. He knows when it's like, all right, look, I'm with you, but we need to pull back. You know, the men, they're starving, they're hungry. We need something else to do. We can't just keep doing this. Show mercy on them. And he's like, no, I'm not showing any mercy. I want. They don't deserve any mercy. They took what was right. They took my father, and they rejected me. So I'm going to take the throne for myself, and they're going to be happy about it. And that's all they can do. There's nothing more, nothing less. That's just they're just going to have to deal with it. Damn it. Um, and Hera, she's what I loved about her character is that how some people say like with the strong female characters, right? Especially as of late, within recent years, they say, well, they're so focused on her being like they focus so much on them being women that they take away from the overall story. And it's not directly focused on her being a woman. I mean, it's kind of like it plays an essential role in it, but it's not one that supersedes who she is, that takes away from her character. It's the fact that we root for her because she's brave, she's noble, she is clever, and she does love her father and her brothers, and she wants what's best for the kingdom. She doesn't want to rule. And I thought that just her development, she was just a great character to follow, because you see this girl, yeah, she loves the wilderness, she loves the wild, she loves her horse, and she loves her family deeply, even in spite of the fact that you know they may not, or her father may not see her for who she is, essentially. And it's really about parent and child relationships. That's kind of the theme of the movie, um, in my mind, because between her and the sons, it's a matter of, well, like they go off to war. He doesn't want her going off to war. He's trying to marry her off so if war ever broke out, she would be safe. But again, you trained her. She can fight. She can move. She has the fastest horse. So it's like, well, what are you waiting for, Helm? Like go for it. Like let her do what she has to do. But you also can understand his plight and the fact that, well, this is my only daughter, and I don't want anything to happen to her. So what Kenji was able to orchestrate and showcase is just the fact that, yeah, you can see both sides of this relationship, and you can understand both of them very, very well. Like you understand both sides of the argument. Um, but again, it's like at the end of the day, you do still end up rooting for Harry because, like, yeah, no, 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 we see you, we know what you can do, and I think that's also part of it. And I know with Captain Marvel, and I know I'm kind of going off track here for a moment, but it's just kind of they kept the thing that they failed with that, and that they failed at with that movie, in my mind, is it was just so focused on like, yeah, she's the strongest, she's the strongest, she's the strongest. But with Hera, it wasn't like that. We were shown, we could see her abilities, and she wasn't boastful, she wasn't arrogant, she was confident, and she believed in what she could do, and she believed in what the good of the kingdom was, and she wanted her own freedom and independence at the end of the day. Like she wanted to be able to have the freedom to choose for herself, which was, I was like, hey, I rock with this. I vibe with this. I'm loving the movie. I'm loving the way that it's told. Um, and I heard some people in the back as I was watching this. They were like, "Well, you know, it's the whole thing." And I could be, I don't want to misconstrue the words, but I'm paraphrasing here. But the fact that she had more autonomy in that kingdom, and I'm like, well, she is the king's daughter, so it's kind of like more than the common woman. She would have a little bit more autonomy in that regard too. Also, I want to say that the theme, like the animation itself, right, and the way that the kingdoms looked. it looked like something straight out of Skyrim. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought it was like just so well done. It reminded Rohan reminded me of Whiterun so much. I was feeling like I was just geeking out. I'm like, oh my god, are we sure that this is Lord of the Rings? Because this looks like Skyrim. This is very Skyrim-esque for sure. Um, and the score, yes, Stephen Gallagher did the score for this. It's epic. It's amazing. It's awesome. I love the songs in this. I loved all of the instrumentals in this. I mean, like, I was just locked in. Every single theme that he had, it was just perfect. It hits every single note. The Momakil were so cool to see. The Oliphants, I love seeing that. It's a rabid one. Um, Also, furthermore, on the story, the war between Wolf's army and Helm Hammerhand's army, it was such a glorious battle. The final battle I thought was incredible. I think low key the to me the MVP is definitely Helm, but the unsung hero was, her name is Orwyn, Orwyn the Shield Maiden. Like I was like, oh, Orwyn was loyal throughout, and she was never going to leave Hera to her own devices. Even when Hera was doubting herself, she said, "You can do this. Like, come on now, stop playing. We know this, and like you've shown it. You have that ability. Like, come on, you're a hammerhead. It's in your blood. Like, yes, speak, woman." I'm just like, I'm all for it. I love Orwyn, man. She's actually definitely one of my favorite characters in this. Hama being the bard, like, him singing the song at the beginning, I thought it was just fantastic. I loved it. The narration I thought was fantastic. The voice acting A1. Like I said, my only gripes were really just the pacing and just some of the weird animation of it all. But overall, man, I really enjoy this movie. I would hope that it stays in the theaters a bit longer, but I know that it's not, sadly. Um, and I don't want to jump into spoilers, so that's why I kind of like, glanced over some things. It's just a non-spoiler. But if you want to talk spoilers, we can. Maybe I'll make another video on it, like fully diving into it. But yeah, no, that's my review of it. Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim. I would love to see more of this, actually. Like, more from this world, done in an anime style. That's my mother laughing if you could hear her in the background. But yes, no, I would love to see more of this, because I think it just adds another element of anticipation for more Lord of the Rings material. And I think it just kind of, you don't have to wait as long. You don't need as many set pieces. You get all the actors in the booth, and you animate the hell out of this movie. And it was just cool to see on screen. Another thing that I noticed that was a kind of weird with the animation was kind of some of the delays in speech, like the way that their lips moved. And I understand that's a thing with anime, but it just seems so like clear. Like I could just see it, and it was just kind of visibly jarring sometimes, but it didn't take away from my experience with the movie. Anyways, this review has been long enough. I hope that you all enjoyed it. I hope that you get the chance. When you get the chance, definitely go see this. It's still in theater. Well, no, it's not. Well, obviously. I just happened to see it last night. I wanted to be sure that I saw it before today, because I knew that this one was going to go to digital. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Y'all take care. Have a great night. Y'all go and check me out at these here socials. I'll see you all in the next one. And by the way, make sure that you stay tuned for all types of content that I got going on at this here channel. Remember, one pack, one nation, one smile.